Hi, I'm Mark Wilson, the Engineering Heretic, and today we're going to feature this particular machine here, the Pantograph, and of course this is a ratio pantograph, not a one-to-one pantograph. The project I'm going to look at is basically it's like an iron for ironing clothes, except for it's for heating up a certain part of a guitar to extract the bridge from a guitar. I need to do this in one-to-one, but of course I have a ratio pantograph, so I'm going to have to get around this issue of how do I do one-to-one on a ratio pantograph. And I'll walk you through the job and we'll have a look at it in detail, and then I'll show you how I'm going to go about doing this. So let's look at the job itself. This part here is the guitar bridge itself. It's a wooden product. It basically is glued to the top of the guitar by a glue that is on the back of it. Now, if ever this bridge needs to be removed, it's necessary to remove some of the wood out of the center of it, and heat this wood up so that it melts the glue, because most glues will melt. They're basically a plastic sort of situation. And the glue will melt, and then the bridge can be removed from the guitar. So what I want is some sort of iron type, almost like for ironing clothes, except that I wanted a small shape of this with a couple of little features on this that will suit this particular application. Now, here I have an aluminium block that I have pre-machined the back of this part here, and it's basically the iron part is going to be on this area here. And what I want to do is machine the shape of this part here onto this profile. We want to put this profile on this surface here, but I need to have a few things that a couple of specific things I need to do. Firstly, I need to offset this part here. I need to offset by about 2 millimeters on the inside here, because this section is going to be routed out in the guitar so that it's all reduced here. And what we're going to do is, once this has been routed out, then we can then insert this particular basically iron or heating block that's going to be the same shape as this part here, with an offset of about 2 millimeters. So I need to have this whole shape here reproduced on this part here with an offset of 2 millimeters. Now, of course, I said before, this particular machine here is a ratio pantograph, and because it's only capable of basically up on the top here, you can change these scales here to move this around. It will do 1.5 to 1 down to 10 to 1. At the moment, and of course 1.5 to 1 is supposedly the cutters in this particular head here, and the stylus is on this head here, but of course I need to do 1 to 1. So what I need to do is make up a pattern over here at 2 to 1, and then reproduce this by reversing the way this machine works, putting the spindle on this side here, and stepping up by 1 to 2, and then go back from here from 2 to 1 again on this particular part here. But I also want it with an offset of 2 millimeters smaller than the perimeter of this. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of juggling to make this all work. The first thing I need to do is come up with a pattern, and I need to make this. I have some craft wood over here, and of course I'll be cutting into craft wood with my pantograph, which will give me my pattern to then go back the other way. So I'm going to set up a few things, and I'll walk you through the rest of it. So after a lot of fooling around, I've got this basically set up the way I want it. Because the 1.5 to 1, well, the 2 to 1 ratio is a little bit difficult to do. The parameters, the amount of movement I have of travel on this is rather limited. Because of the configuration of the machine. But what I've done here is I have here an 8mm cutter in this particular side here. That's just an 8mm end mill. And over here I have a stylus which is 4mm diameter. Because it's a 2 to 1 ratio, I have to make this half the size of that one there. That's 8mm, this one's 4. So this is going to copy this particular shape in basically a 1 to 1 profile. Now, at the moment, I'm only using the swing arm. I'm only using this in the 2 degree format. At the moment, this tilt arm here is basically locked in place. So I'm only doing this a 2D thing because that's all I require. I don't need a 3D one here. So I've got this set up the way it is. Now, all I need to do is start the machine, and it's also got to be very careful because I've got spindles spinning around right next to my hands. And normally, when you run these machines, you've got the cover on this side, and you're working over here, and there's nothing live here. But in this case here, it's a little bit more hairy. So I need to keep my wits about me. So what I'm going to do is turn the machine on. I'm going to raise this table here until we make contact. And what I want to do now is just work my way around the outer profile here. Now, it's always better in pantographs to actually fine mill around something than it is to upcut. Right? Just pantographs tend to work themselves better like that. And we'll come around here. We'll roll the into the travel a few things here. And once I have one pass, I can then look at this side here. It's much easier than watching the pattern itself. Right, so table. Another successive pattern. So you see on this profile here, you can see I've gone down around about 4mm on this face here. Now I'll have to clear off the outside area. There's not enough travel in the machine itself back here. There's just not enough movement in the profile of the machine, so I'll have to machine that off. But now I have a pattern, and now what I can do is go back to the other side and put up my other piece and cut that to the size I want. So it did take a long time to set this up, but that's basically the process here. And then what we're going to do is swap out this spindle back here, put that one back over in this one here, and we'll go back to the regular format with the stylus in this particular head here. So now that I've made my pattern, I've now converted the machine back around to its more conventional format. And to show you what I mean by that, let's have a look at it. Here's my pattern, and I just cut this out with a saw on the outside of it so I can still use this profile and I don't have to machine all this outside area. Okay. Now at the moment I have a stylus in here that's 15mm in diameter, and I want to do a roughing cut first, and then I'll finish off with a sizing cut afterwards, but I want to do a roughing cut beforehand. On the machining side over here, I've marked out basically where the position is of the part itself. This is the, where are we? I've marked out on the bridge. All I did was put the bridge on there. And I have at the moment a 6mm cutter in here. And of course, because this is a 2-to-1, half of 15, of course, is 7.5. So effectively, I'm going to leave material on here. I'm only doing a roughing cut at the moment. So we're leaving material on. And now we need to do another offset before, and I'll talk about that down the track. But at the moment, we're going to do a roughing cut, and we're going to rough down this whole profile all around here, ready to do a finishing cut afterwards. So let's get started. My first cut, it's much better to actually fly mill around things than up cut. So we're going to go around here. So what we want to do now is a bit of a test cut. On this side, on the stylus side here, I've changed the stylus over, but I'll talk about that in a minute. The moment I have basically, it's a 6mm, diameter cutter, a little bit less than a quarter. Now if I do a bit of a calculation here, so remember, what we want to do is have a 2mm offset per side on this part here. And so I want to work out is what size my stylus should be in order to get this to happen. So what we need to do is, because this is a 2-to-1 ratio, we need to basically say, okay, that's 6mm. Double that size, because it's the size needs to be twice as much if it's size for size. That becomes 12. Now, then, because we want a 2mm offset, we need to take off basically the 2mm per side, which is 4mm, but because it's basically a 2-to-1 ratio, we need to take off basically 8mm off that. So this one here, instead of being 12, we're taking off 8mm off that. So that becomes basically 4mm diameter stylus in order to get this to the correct size. Now what I've done is a bit of a test cut. At the moment this stylus is a little bit oversized. I just turned that down. And what I did was I did a slight cut on either side of this, and now I can put my part over the top, and we can actually take a measurement here. So if we take my caliper, so that size there, we get about on the top there, we get 42.6 millimeters. On my part here, we'll measure this one here, I get 46, yeah, we'll make it 46, be close enough, 46. So we're looking for 4mm, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I said 42.6. So we have about a 1/2 mil to go. So we need to take off basically 1 mil off that stylus end. But this will be a semi-roughing cut, a semi we've roughed it before. We'll go down with that, and then we'll just tweak this down just a little bit more and do a finishing cut all the way around. Just in passing, the question might be asked, well, why can't you, in order to get the offset, why can't you just change the ratio? And of course, that'd be a pretty good question. The trouble with changing the ratio is not only does it make it incredibly complicated, I don't have the graduations up the top here to make that work. And not only that, because the ratio is if you imagine half of that would be that distance there, but half of this whole length there is that distance there. So the ratios don't actually work in this case. We need to look at an offset, and an offset is basically 2 mil per side, 4 mil because of the ratio, but we can't just offset the ratio to make up that distance because it would basically blow the whole thing out of proportion. So you have to do it purely with adjusting the stylus, or basically the cutter itself. I could, if I wanted to, make that a little bit smaller by either making the cutter bigger or the stylus smaller and vice versa. But at the moment we're just changing the stylus because it's the easiest thing to do. It's about 0.2 oversized. I think I'll leave it at that. I won't try any further than that. And that basically concludes the machining of this particular part. So here we have the finished article. Basically, it's I'll have a base on it. I'll have to drill a hole down the end of this here. There'll be a hole down through here that will basically be a thing called a fire rod. It's a cartridge heater that will go down the length of this. It'll need to have a handle mount on the outside of it with a wooden handle to insulate the thing. But basically the base of it, it's just kind of like a regular clothesline basically, except that it's the shape of this particular bridge. And of course, this bridge here has a 2mm. If you look closely, you could see that the fact that there's a 2mm gap basically around the perimeter of this that will allow you to basically route off the top of this, hollow the whole thing out, place this heated over this iron thing over it, basically heat the thing up, and it'll pop the glue off. That's basically the concept of this. I'm going to make another larger one for a bigger one, which is just going to be a flat deck thing for removing the fretboards from guitars as well. So there'll be a set, and basically it's for removing components from guitars. And that's the finishing article. And I'm Mark Wilson, and thanks for watching.